Jesus asks today that we be consecrated in the truth. That word truth, it's almost a dirty word in today's society. It's one that's lost its meaning in a way. It's been distorted, and it's quite strange. If you think about the original meaning of the word, is something that is permanent and that we can trust and rely on and is revealed to us. But it's the fact that the meaning of that word can develop has a sense of irony, really. And in our society today, we do see a lot of what's called relativism, where people will say, my truth and your truth, that person's truth is important, and so on and so forth. And what's true for you may not be true for me. And there's goodness in that as well. There's good intentions, but it's getting away from actually the way the world works. Because, the claim that relativism makes is that there is no such thing as absolute truth. But you can see the contradiction in that statement. To make a claim that there is no such thing as absolute truth is an absolute truth in itself. It's contradicting itself. It's making a claim that there is a truth, and they're making relativism is making that claim. So we see that going on in our world, and a lot of emphasis is put on people's subjective experience. We've got to respect people's experiences. I think that's what people mean when they say your truth, his or her truth, and so on, my truth. And again, as I said, that we need to respect other people's experiences and perspectives, but we need a sense of balance to recognize that there are some things that are just true. The fact that science recognizes that there are laws and rules about the way the world works means that in the moral world as well, the way we make decisions in our life, there must be a truth, the truth that we all live by. And I think, in my humble opinion, the way that we can reclaim some of those wonderful values that we need to recapture in our society, that maybe this pandemic has allowed us to reflect upon. Pope Francis talks about this a lot. The things that underpin, that make our society good. We've had the time maybe in this pandemic to think about what those things are. But in order to recapture them and not to go down this line of where it's just a free-for-all, we need to accept that such a thing as the truth exists. Just an example of part of the truth that has made our society good is from our faith. We believe that every human person is created in the image and likeness of God. That means that we all have equal human dignity. That's where equality and diversity comes from. And admittedly, it's taken us a while as a church, as a faith group, to realize the full meaning of that. But it's always been there, and it's what's made our society good. And realize that. Because think about what the alternative is when we don't see equal dignity for every human being. The other extreme of that. So that's an example of where the truth has helped our society become good. But of course, then that's distorted as well by certain new ways of thinking, and it can be taken to the extreme out of context. But what does all this mean for us today? Why am I going on about this? Well, because Jesus says, may they be consecrated in the truth, he's praying to the Father fervently. This is his last prayer, his long prayer in the Gospel of John before he's going to go and undergo his passion and death and resurrection. He's praying to the Father. And one of the things he says is he wants us to be consecrated in the truth. Now, consecrated just means to be set apart, that sense of being made holy, set apart in the truth. But what is this truth? Well, it's nothing other than Jesus himself. You know, elsewhere he says in John's Gospel, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the truth embodied, because everything about his whole mission, his whole being, his whole purpose, his becoming one of us, his dying and rising from the dead, that whole mission of Jesus, his whole existence, is pointing to the most fundamental truth that we need to live by. And that truth is that God has created us, and he's created us all out of love, and he loves us, each and every one of us, so much that he would do this for us. That's the fundamental truth that Jesus wants to communicate to us with his words and his actions, but in his simple, his being, his very existence. He is that truth. So what a wonderful truth that is to live by and to be consecrated for, to know that we are loved by God who created the universe. That is the truth that is worth being consecrated for. That is the truth that we are willing to live for. So we thank God that he has revealed that truth to us, and we need to share that with the world.